Sorry, it's been about 10 days since I made a video. I have literally gutted this entire studio. You would not believe the quantity of cables and variety of cables that were in the belly of that beast back there. My entire living room has been a complete disaster and still is to some degree because I decided to do this. Now, I've been designing and redesigning. I'm a woodworker, so I was going to build my own custom studio desk. And like I said, I have redesigned that probably 8 to 10 times so far. And so I thought, man, I keep making changes, and if I decide to make these changes after the fact, that's going to get costly. So I thought, why not do some modifications to the desk behind me, try some different ideas, and see what I like and what I don't like. And so that's what I've done. Behind me, I've got an Argosy Series 90 desk. It's probably at least 20 years old. It was designed to fit a 24-channel Redesign D command for Pro Tools HD and HDX systems. And that's what was in it for many years. Actually, I had modified it to have a Pro control for a while, and then I sold that and bought the D command. And then everything fit in, of course, perfectly for that. And that's exactly what I had. I had an 8-fader unit and a 16-channel unit, or expansion fader. So I had a total of 24 channels of D command back behind me. And that's what was back there when I started this studio. I'll try to see if I can come up with some video footage of that for some old videos back in the past, and you can kind of see what that looks like. Then after a while, I decided to redesign it yet one more time when I decided to move away from Pro Tools HDX and Avid and go in a different direction. Obviously, I needed new control surfaces, so I pulled my D command out, and it literally sat upstairs for about 2 years until I finally sold it. Because I wanted to have it there as a backup just in case I decided to go back, and I didn't. And so anyway, I fabricated some side moldings to where basically the entire desk was nothing but rack spaces. In the first 3 sections, I had rack mounted some SSL UF8 control surfaces, and I used those for quite some time. And you can also see those being used in the studio. I've got a review of those. Then I decided I wanted to try something different. As much as I absolutely love the SSL UF8s, and for the record, I am a huge supporter of that control surface. I absolutely loved it, but I did not like the way it handled plugins and some things like that. So I decided that I wanted to try a different route. So I went back into the Avid world, and I got an S1 and an Avid dock. And so I started using that, and I really love Yukon. Yukon is fantastic, and it gives you so much customization along with the control surface as well as being able to do it on the iPad. But it never set right because here everything is at an angle. It was just awkward, and things were on top of each other. And it just didn't look right for me. And so I decided to move away yet one more time. Now I've decided to go with Softube's Console 1. I really love the plugin control of that. And just about every plugin that I'm going to want to be able to control, I can control with that in a very intuitive way that makes perfect sense to my brain. And then I've also got it paired with a Console 1 fader, of which I'm going to describe more about that in coming up videos. So that's kind of what I'm using now. One other problem that I always had with this is that when I wanted to edit my videos for you guys, the TV behind me, and yes, that is a 43-inch TV, technically it's 4K, but it's not designed for that type of detailed resolution and color grading and things like that. So I always found it a pain in the butt to be able to have to either guess at it and then hope it looks good, or rewire and disconnect my laptop and pull that out, and that was always a pain in the butt. So now I've got it set up where my laptop is over off beside it, and it just stays closed the majority of the time, and when I need to edit a video for you guys, I can pull that up and do my color grading on that, and then keep my timeline and everything else up on the big monitor, which works fantastic for me. So I'm going to show you how I utilize that and show you and really talk about what exactly I did with this. Now, full disclosure, I have a CNC machine, and so I was able to draw it in an application called VCarve Pro. and draw that, and then of course send it over to my CNC via G-code. And so I was able to really get the dimensions and everything down and design that how I want. That way I could make perfect duplications. Now that said, if you can just get one panel right as an example, and you know how to use a router with the flush trim router bit, then you can make one example of one out of MDF as an example, and then go around that either with a jigsaw or a bandsaw, kind of just get close to the line but not quite touching the line. And then you can just trace around that MDF, which will give you an exact duplication of it using the flush trim router bit, with the roller obviously rotating and guiding along the side of the MDF. So you can do that as well. So I'll show you some pictures here in a second, but there's another thing I kind of need to get to, so you know this is coming up too. I've decided to redo my room treatment, and I'm going to be making some 2x4 room treatment panels, and I'm going to go out to my garage to try to do it. I was hoping to do it today, but I'm not going to have a chance to. But I will be videoing that to show you guys how to do that, and so that's upcoming. So all right, one thing I want to cover real quick, because it's a way you can support me and support this channel if you appreciate the videos and the work that I do for you. I'm part of the affiliate program with Sweetwater. So if you're going to buy something and you choose to buy from Sweetwater, you can buy from whoever you want, but if you choose to buy from Sweetwater, I've got a link down in the description. I would appreciate it if you would use that. I get a tiny, tiny percentage of it. And believe me, affiliate links are really what sustain this channel, as you don't make a lot of money off views. If you're over in Europe, and you use Tommen as an example, there's an affiliate link down there below. All my brothers and sisters over across the other side of the world, I'd appreciate it if you'd help and support me too. Enough talk about that. Let's go back and look exactly what I did to this desk and the modifications that I made. All right, so I kind of give you a wide angle shot of this as we go through it, and you get a feel for what that looks like now. This is one of the original sections of it. And there were originally two in this particular desk, right? And then in the middle over there where you see that console one Mark III, as well as a fader, that's where the 24 channel D command went. And then there's another unit over there that I refabricated again today. Now scrolling along back here, you can see where this is hardwood maple right here. And so what I wish I'd done now, keep in mind, this is a work in progress, so nothing is quite finished just yet. What I'll end up doing is taking this angle piece back here, take this and make this flat with back there, and that'll work out a lot better. Then I'll be able to get some more height from here to here. Hopefully I can get another rack space in there. I believe I can from doing there. And then of course you can see here, this is a tabletop. Now all this is going to be made out of fine wood. This is just a piece of laminated board that I had left over. It's actually two pieces technically, that down there. So again, none of this is finished. And you can see the console one, Mark III. Let's hit the play there. You can see the console one Mark III and fader Mark III. That'll be coming out here pretty shortly. But you can also see this custom enclosure I made. I also do some work with resin and some things like that and some pretty cool wood. So I'll be offering those up for sale and making those in the coming future. All right, now back over here, you can see my Atom 77Hs. And then back over here is all of my internet router stuff, as well as various remote controls. I have two Thunderbolt 3 docks, or Thunderbolt 4 docks, I should say, and quite a few NVE, or NV, whatever, fast drives, whatever you call it, going on in there. Now you scroll back over here, and you can see here, this is a fantastic complement. It's mainly for video editing, but let me go back over here for a second, and you can see as I'm zooming that, right, I can have control, and it works great alongside those. Granted, it works all major DAWs, even though it's primarily meant to be used for video editing. And then here, of course, is my MacBook Pro. This is an M1 Pro MacBook Pro. And then I've got some 500 series units back over there. And then following out on this side over here, you can see where I fabricated these again. Again, I'm not trying to do any finished product here. This is just testing the waters. And then I'll make changes from here. I don't even have this stuff racked in quite technically, I don't even have the audio connections made to any of this stuff yet. I've got all the power run, all of the USB, everything associated with that. And here's a DMX controller for all the lights that are up in the ceiling up there. And of course, this is another power unit. And then you can see what's there. So that's kind of the new desk and what it looks like. I have to be honest with you, I think I really like it so far. All right, so now you got a chance to see the desk. I have to tell you, for the first go of this, I really like what I've done. So many of the other redesigns I've done on the other desk I've done have been for cable management and things like that. What I'm hoping to kind of get, although this room doesn't really work for it, but I will be moving spaces over the next 6 months, but to have something that kind of comes out and V's out like this over here, where I can get things in more reach, where I'm kind of clustered around certain things. And that's kind of what I think I want and what I've got drawn up. But this is going to tell me a lot about how I'm going to use it and what makes sense. So I kind of hope you've dug this and see what you can do. You know, a few simple woodworking tools and you can actually do a lot. And then, of course, I work with a lot of fine woods. When I do finally do this, I do plan to make it out of some really nice wood because, hey, it's going to be a piece of furniture for me, something I can hopefully have and use for a very long time, which is why it's super important that I get it right when I do actually go make it, because the last thing I want to be in a situation that says, man, I wish I'd have done this. This would have made a huge difference. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at it. I know I've enjoyed doing it. It's been a lot of work, and I've got a lot of work to do. By the end of tonight, this thing will be completely wired back up, everything wired back into the patch bays, a test run on everything. And I'm kind of excited about getting back to my studio because I've not been able to use it now for over 10 days. And that's the longest time I've gone in a very long time without being able to be in this space that I love so much. So do me a favor, leave some comments down below. Tell me what you think. But until next time, I hope every one of you have a great day. You know, creativity is not just in music and not just in the arts. Woodworking is an art too. If you haven't ever tried it out, I encourage you to give it a try. I absolutely love it. Bye-bye.